Hello, hello, everyone. How are you all doing this fine morning slash afternoon? So let me quickly get on here and see if everyone is okay. Because we had a storm. So if you're down here in the Dallas Fort Worth in the Dallas Fort Worth area, you all, we had a storm, and I do mean a storm. So the meteorologist did warn us about rain that was coming, but I didn't know it was going to be a heavy thunderstorm like it was last night. So streets was flood. Streets that normally don't flood. Now some streets I know flood, like Jack Sparrow Highway. So if you're familiar with Fort Worth in the suburbs of Fort Worth, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So Jack Sparrow Highway, which can take you into Fort Worth, into downtown Fort Worth, and it can take you through the north side. It can take you through Lake Worth, and then it can take you into Azle. So it's Henderson Street, then it turns into Highway. No, Henderson, Jacksboro, then it turns into Highway 199. If I'm not mistaken, it's been years since I had to take that road to go to work. They used to work out in Lake Road, and so they were just showing the streets and stuff that were heavily flooded. And I know Jacksboro floods all the time, every time it rains. And so I know driving through those puddles, that water can just come right up in my car. And so yeah, and I got up today on my way to spend time with my friends from my soldier group. The major intersection that I have to cross, 35 and Berry, the lights was out, signs was blown all over the place. I'm not talking about the little old paper signs. I'm talking about the heavy metal signs that were just blown all over. Trees, tree limbs. I mean, woo, I hope everybody okay. So all right, you all. So let's go ahead and get started. I know it's been a while, you all. So I just been so busy with building relationships with community sales managers, going out here, visiting the new community, and I hope you all are enjoying my community tours. Now I know they're not fancy like all my Realtor friends, but hey, I am out here, so you all see me out here doing the community tours. I'm out here building relationships with the community sales managers, because these are the people that we are going to have to do business with. And so, you know, you want to make sure that everything is on the up and up. Give me a quick second, y'all. Got a phone call. Hopefully, I'm trying to get this thing off of here. So all right, sorry about that. I've got a phone call that I had to take. And so, yes, you are. So again, you know, I'm out here building relationships with these community sales managers. And, you know, because I get the exclusive, so I get to know when the incentives come out before the public knows. I get to know when they lower the prices on the homes. You know, so all little types of things. Because the number one thing, I want to make sure that the transaction goes smoothly as possible. So that's my motive, that's my goal. So yes, you all, I have been slacking on doing my podcast because it does. It takes a lot out of me because I'm trying not only going to tour the new community, I'm also staying up with the building events, and I'm also staying up with the classes and things that they offer to us. So let me go ahead and get started. So hello there, home buyers. So my name is Latosca Asberry, and I am your new construction advocate and the author of Home Sweet New Home. So today we are going to talk about HOAs, and I do mention HOAs in my book. So you might be wondering, what does HOA actually cover? So HOA actually covers the common area. So it covers the sidewalks, the green spaces, the playground, the amenity center, the community center or amenity center, however they want to call it, the pools, the ponds, so just all the common things because they want to make sure that the community remains nice because that's what draws buyers in to buy. So why would you want to come and buy in a community where the grass is not maintained, the pool has dirty water, the playground looks like who did it and why? So those are some of the things that they cover. Now I noticed that it's a new trend now that some of the new communities are also doing front lawn maintenance wall. So I think that is awesome thing to do. If you're going to take care of my front yard and all I have to do is just worry about the back, that is a really sweet deal right there. And let's talk about green belts. Should I buy a home by green belts, which is just green spaces? They call it green belt, green spaces. Should I buy a home by a green belt? Because the advantages of being by green belt is limited neighbors. So you'll have a neighbor to your left, you'll have a neighbor to your right, you'll have a neighbor, across the street. So you'll have limited neighbors. You just won't have neighbors in the back. So the downfall about being by green belt is you need to know is it going to be nature or it's going to be semi-nature. So the difference between the two, nature and semi-nature, nature is the grass is going to grow because that is what nature is about. So it's about the grass growing. It's nature. And then semi-nature is that they might come through there and cut a strip or something like that. Now, because I did ask, can you go back there and maintain green belt? I do not know because that's another disadvantage about being by green belt is all of those insects. So down here in Texas, we have some unknown insects that it is not even real, and they very prominent in the new community because they tear down the insects homes and stuff. So that's why you have coyotes. If you hear people talk about coyotes and things like that, is because you turn down a home to build homes on top of that. So that is a problem. And so you want to think about living by a green belt, not just look at solely, I'm not going to have any neighbors in the back, and I'll have some neighbors on the east side of me and across the street. So, that's just something to think about. Because I know green belt is pretty, especially right now, especially like when they're, I don't want to say in the middle or the end. You know, when you go in there, the green belt is going to be, it's going to look nice, it's going to look well maintained, but you just have to see the HOA documents and see, are they going to maintain that green space, or they're just going to let it be nature. And so let's jump to the money portion. So HOA dues can be due monthly, quarterly, or yearly. And so let's, speaking of HOA dues, why do they vary from community to community? Is the boutique communities, you don't have to worry about having an expense. Well, I don't know, not say, because everybody's definition of expenses is different. You might not have as high as HOA dues as the master plan community, because the master plan community have the community center, they have the pools, they have the lazy rivers, they have the catch and release ponds, they have the playgrounds, they have the schools on site, they have the walking trails, and they have all the bells and whistles. So they basically have an attraction park or a theme park, basically, in a way. Because I don't want y'all to go and think that these communities have Ferris wheels, rides, and all of that, but they pretty much have all the bells and whistles. So that's why the HOA fees are slightly higher than a boutique community that just have walking trails and bells. So that can be some reasonings behind why the prices are different. And another thing that can play a role too is location. So location can play a role in on how much your fees are going to be. And there are setup fees. So do not be alarmed. There are setup fees when it comes to dealing with HOA. And so while we're still on the topic of money, see, y'all are missing out. I'm telling you all, stop listening to these equity builders who already are building equity, because some of the developers down here in the Dallas market was paying the first year of HOA dues. Now that was separate from what the builders was doing. So the builders had their own thing, but the developers were paying the first year of HOA fees. And so you get with a knowledgeable real estate agent, and we can go in there. That could be one of our negotiation tactics. Okay, well, can you go ahead and cover the first year of HOA fees? And that's not, you're not asking for them to lower the price by $200,000 on the home. You're just asking about the fees. And I want to give you all an important tip, because I was sitting in class and one of my Realtor friends she brought up a very good thing. Buyers assume that HOA is rolled into your mortgage. HOA fees are not rolled into your mortgage. HOA fees is something completely different. Your mortgage is with the bank. Your HOA dues is with the HOA management company of that community. So those are two separate things. And so I was like, oh wow, I need to talk about that, because I was talking to a young lady earlier this week, and she was telling me her brother just recently bought a home, and he didn't know that the HOA fees, the dues, were separate from his mortgage. And so now he's having to come up with more money for HOA dues. And see, I'm assuming he came into a community that's already established. So when you come into a community that's already established, you have to pay to me a little bit more versus coming in. But who knows? Who knows? Again, location can play a role, um, and the fees and all of those things like that. So it's very important that you check with the HOA management of that community that you are looking to move to, because you want to be sure to get all of your questions answered before you start just signing stuff, and then here if an expense that you wasn't aware of, you know, because yeah, a lot of us, we just talk about down payment assistance, down payment, and talk about closing costs, talk about buying down points, but no one's talking about the other things like the home inspection expense, and then the HOA expenses. So yes, you are. So HOA and your mortgage are two separate things. So your mortgage does not cover your HOA. So pass that information along. And so you all, so I hope that talking about this right here, talking about what HOA covers, should I get a house by the green belt, which is the green spaces, what is nature and semi nature, what are the fees are normally due, and then that your HOA fees and your mortgage are two separate things. And I made sure we're going to go on to the book announcement. So I made sure to talk about HOA, because you want to make sure that you're going to adhere to those rules. But see, especially when you're a first-time home buyer, you know, yeah, you have rules in apartments, and then you might have rules when you're renting a home. But then you want to make sure that you can adhere to the HOA rules and regulations of that community. And so, let's see, what chapter, so I made sure to put it in chapter 5, protecting your investment. So that's where I talk about HOA, what their responsibilities are. And yes, y'all, 99% of the newer communities are going to have an HOA. That's just you're going to very rarely find a new community that is going to be HOA free. So that's going to be the norm. So there's no way around that unless you and your neighbors, y'all get together and y'all say no. But I highly doubt it that a lot of people are going to get away from no HOA. So yes, also if you are looking for education on buying a new home, this is not a lot of education around buying a new home. And buyers are still going out to these communities, these builders. They're going out to the communities too, but they're still going out here to these builders, and they still don't have an understanding, because some of the builders, reps, not the ones that I'm building relationships with, but some of the builder reps are telling the buyers, you don't need a real estate agent. You don't need a home inspection. And so, you know, they're telling you, oh, this is a one-stop shop. You don't need nobody. I got you right here. And then once you get at home, here come all the problems. And then you want to run to the internet, and you know, because you know that you don't have the money to go up against their powerful lawyers and their contracts and stuff, because you signed those contracts saying that, okay, everything was fine when you did your walkthrough. You pretty well stated that everything was fine. So they went on to the next family, and then that was that. And then you all go to the internet and bash the builders. And I just be saying in my mind, why didn't you get inspection? No, number one, why didn't you hire an agent? Why did you get an inspection? I talk about getting inspections all the time while the people make mistakes. They make mistakes all the time. And so you just want to correct those mistakes before you get those keys in hand. And so this book right here is what you need. So I made sure to make chapter 1, real estate agents. And stop, don't let them talk you into saying that you do not need a real estate agent. You do need a real estate agent over there. You need somebody that's going to be on your side. And and I made sure to end with financing. So I'm talking about the different loan products that are out there, which is FHA, VA, conventional, and USDA. So there's still some areas in Texas that will fall under the USDA loan, so still will qualify for USDA. And so in between, I make sure to put protecting your investment, which is talking about the insurance, the HOA, talk about builder warranties. I talk about home inspection. Builder warranties is very important for us because now not only do you have the brand name builders, you have boutique builders that are building too. And so this book can work with that as well. So you want to make sure that you are getting your warranties. And warranties, they do vary from builder. For a while it was 2, 10, and 1, 2, and 10. Now some of them are doing 1, 2, and 6. Some are doing 1 and 6 because you got to forget that is their business, so they can run it however they see fit. But you want to make sure that they have warranty just in case something happens. You want to get these inspections done on these homes, especially for that 1-year warranty is call the home inspector to come out to make sure that the home is still running accordingly, or like it's supposed to be running. You all. So, where can you pick up homes? It is available on Amazon, lulupublishing.com, direct to author, and contact me if you want a signed copy of Home Sweet New Home. Speaking of signed copies, so I will be participating in the 3rd annual NB Book Festival at, Lord have mercy, y'all, almost got the library name, George W. Hawk Downtown Library in Arlington, Texas. So the address is 100 Center Street, Arlington, Texas, 76010. It's from the 11 to 2, so you better get there early because I only have 15 signed copies. And so I will be signing these. I will put in here a special note so you'll get to see exactly how your book will look. And I'm still working on what I should, what else I should do besides the book. So you'll get a note, you'll get my signature. And like I said, FedEx dropped it off yesterday. So you all believe when I say all I have is 15 copies. I'm opening it up live in front of you all. sure my keys, y'all. Being very selective on which keys I use. And so while I'm opening this up, you all go ahead and put it down November 1st, which is next Saturday. Y'all come on out and support me because I see y'all out supporting the lady with the macaroni salad, tuna salad. I see y'all out there. So I need 15 of y'all to come on and get a book. Come on down here and get a book. I see y'all out there supporting. Come on. Share that support. Address on here, but yes, so I got all 15 copies right here. So I'll be signing this weekend. I don't know. I might enjoy my weekend. Who knows? You know, it just depends on how my weekend goes. So yes, 15 copies. 15. They will be signed for you all. Make sure that I got everything. Y'all better show up early. 15 copies is all I have. Thank you all so very much for joining me. I hope talking about HOA has helped you. So there's no way around HOA as of now. 99% of the communities have an HOA management company. So, but don't let that stop you. We can always ask if the developer can help pay the first year off. So, all right. See you